Good morning. My name is Susan Kawo. I'll be working with Jean Didier Nekeza and Ange Queen Akitimana. We're working on the goal Confront culture with the project Culture Dinner Party. So, as the direction says, everyone is going to present about the culture they worked about. Everyone has had to make a research and come up with their findings. We'll be talking about our findings and the commonalities with the culture we worked on, also the differences. So for me, I worked on Hindu marriage and Pennsylvania Dutch. So I found that Hindu weddings, they are all about showing love with each other. And their way of showing love is by fried food, by butter, and also sugar. So when you are going to a Hindu marriage, you have to expect to find there sugar and butter and fried food. So in Hindu culture, when they are getting married, it's their way of showing up. And the way of showing up is to buy expensive food. And this expensive food, you don't find just one. You just find a lot of them. So in the north of India, they used to eat meat in their wedding. You can find chicken, beef, and so on. But in south, they are vegetarian. So you can find their rice, and they really know how to cook rice. They can cook rice with lemon and rice with other ingredients. India are so good at cooking. So actually in south, when they feel like someone is eating meat, is used like a symbol of being rich. Yeah. In the wedding, like the father of like the family, they can give coconuts to people, to the grooms, like a symbol of prosperity. So for them, coconuts means like when they give it to grooms, it means that they're expecting their family to be blessed. So a symbol is defined like something which is related, it's holding the meaning or something else which is not related to it. So when you just see coconut, what can it tell you that this one means prosperity? So that is how Hindu culture is. So after that, I also worked on Pennsylvania Dutch, as I said. So these people, they can eat gummies. Gummies, they eat them like it's a way of bringing all of them together, so they can sit there, and then when they're eating them, they have like a word that they use to say. They call it messy grave. I don't know why they call it messy grave, but it's a way of for them to have fun together. Yeah, at the end of maybe a season, or they've been working, so they just come together and share gummies. So also in Pennsylvania, they're so conservative of their culture, so they want to bring it back to next generations. So that's why when like you are a father and then you give birth to a child, you have to teach them all the food you eat so that it may go generation after generation. So I can say that they have this spirit of ethnocentrism. They love their culture so much and they think that it is the best. So maybe to go on my own culture, I'm a Nande. Nande is a subculture in Congo. It is actually in North. So in Nande we used to eat this, we always call it bihama. In English it is called yams. Yeah. So in our culture, by acculturation, I came up to understand that those foods are eaten because they have been eaten by our grandparents. Yeah. And then they're having this bitterness in them, and then grandparents, they always tell us that bitterness is for healing inside illnesses like bellyache and so on. So they said that when you eat those yams and you are in a terrible situation, you don't know how you're going to get out of it. Like maybe you are in prison and you are there for nothing. So you can just be eating these yams, and your process, I don't know by which mean, your process is going to accelerate, and then after a given moment you find yourself you are clean. Like when you're going to negotiate with someone and it is really difficult for you to convince that person, you can eat those yams, and then when you go to see that person and you're just talking with them, you're going to find that the conversation is going smoothly. So that's the meaning around yams. And they eat them, as I said before, to conserve the culture. We don't want to leave it, but young people mostly do not want to eat it because they are somewhat bitter. You know, young people will like things which are sugar, things like those. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
So you've been talking about the Pennsylvania and the
Yeah.
Hindu wedding. So
Yeah.
what do you think is the similarity between those two cultures?
For Pennsylvania and Hindu, the commonality that I found is like food is a way of bringing all of them together. You know, in weddings, that's where like, you know, all people are coming together so that they may party, eat together and celebrate. And then you see in Pennsylvania, they eat gambis as a way of having fun and stay together. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you for sharing your findings. I'm going to continue with what I did. My name is Jean Diaz Said. I worked on two cultures, Trinket portraiture and tailgating in North America. On Trinket portraiture, it's all about eating. They eat, dance, sing, just calling people around the community, convene together, eat, drink, whatever. So here in the Trinidad portraiture, they used to eat salmon, fish, and cranberry sauce. So for fish, it's a sign of, as you said, prosperity, respected family. Also, this mostly this Trinidad portraiture is done by people or greatness people in the community to show how prosper they are. Just calling people in the neighborhood, cook too many foods. And then it's like an obligation to give foods to your guests, too many foods, and also give them a part of the food to go with home, to give the other people at home, to show how the family member is great. So in this activity is all about showing how powerful the family member is, and also it is mostly done when they are having a very important event like honoring the dead person, the family, house dedication, so those kind of events. And also during this event, there was one example where one family called or invited the other families around and subcultures, and then there was a competition of eating. They ate till the people from the other family died. So, the family which prepared the event have to pay. They gave like, yeah, I don't know if I can say slaves or people to just to fill out those gaps for those people who died during that event. So for this event, it's all about feasting. They eat, my friend, they eat. So that's come to my attention to say that food is mostly used in the all cultures to bring people together, share joy, and possibly talk to each other. So I think what I can say, food is a very, very important thing in all the cultures around the world. Also, I worked on tailgating at football game. Actually, for tailgating, it's all about enjoying before before the match start. They enjoy, they eat. So because during that time, 1940 something, there was no fast foods. So that's why they used to pack from water, food, lamb, chicken, pork, chops, and also beers. Because if they are there, they eat, they share with others around. If like you have any question, people there will be open, then give you like a hint. You have to bring this, you have to bring this and this and this, so that maybe during that event they will enjoy it together. So during this event, first they eat and they drink, of course, just as a way of scaring the other people who are a fan of the different team. So if you're like, I'm fanning the team A and then you are a fan of team B, I have to eat too much and drink as many as possible. So for it to make you crazy, feel like our team's going to lose. And also, it is very advised for you to bring water because if you are eating chickens, fried foods, you are going to be to lose water because they freeze. So then you have to bring more water to hydrate your body during that event.
Yeah.
I work also on my culture from my field. It's about Rwandan subculture Umuganolo. So this event is all about thanksgiving to God because of the harvest that we got from our cultivation. It's like saying thank you to God for giving us this, and then we ask for others from the next season. They eat actually traditional foods like beans, sweet potatoes. They drink sorghum beers and banana beers, but most of the time you find, for example, let's take an example here. In the north, you can find cultivate beans, but in the south, don't cultivate beans. So you cannot expect us to eat beans while we don't produce beans. So in the every communities, they eat food that they produce on their own. So this means that it is not allowed to eat other food which are not from our cultures. No, this is not allowed. And also, it is a good opportunity for people in the community to convene and solve some other conflict between community members who are having conflicts. And there's something also done during that event. It's like uh, honoring great person in the community who did great things, support like poors, and we share. So that's a good opportunity for the people in the community to convene and share joy and possibly solve some conflict and also help the people who do not have something. So as commonality or differences, I found out that food is really very important. And also we did find that food is a symbolism in our cultures. It symbolizes things in the culture. If you are an anthropologist, you want to learn about the culture, the country culture, or community culture. First of all, you have to learn about their foods, why they eat those foods. So, for example, while eating or drinking sorghum beer, it's all about honoring our ancestors who died, through our grandparents, just like saying, oh, we are thankful to you and they will remember you well. So during that event, they eat, they drink, and also as a difference, you can find like we are eating, let me say, rice. You eat rice, we eat rice. But the difference is the reason behind why you eat rice and you why you eat rice. So the difference most of the time, the meaning or the reason behind why we eat those kind of foods. Yeah, thank you. That was my findings
So
from
I just have a question. You say that for your culture is not allowed to eat the food of another culture.
yeah.
Do you have many subcultures in your culture, or just your own culture, and then you consider other culture like outside your country?
Actually, I was meaning outside the country because we don't have so many subcultures,
So
not just like events only.
yeah. So I'm wondering what can happen to someone, like, you know, by curiosity they come up to eat a food from another country. What can happen to them?
Actually, the way the event is done is like in the community we bring foods together, what we have, so that we can share together as the whole community. So it's very understandable that if you bring like rice, we cannot accept rice while we don't produce rice. Yeah.
It means that you people, you just focus on what you have.
Yeah, like tradition, what we produce. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Jean-Claude, for your presentation. And my name is Ange Queen, as she introduced before. And for me, I worked on Hawaiian culture and Japanese culture. For Hawaiian culture, they have a specific food which is emblematic, if I say it's present in every event organized in that country. For if I go back in their history, Hawaiian are to take their origins in Polynesia. their ancestors are from Polynesia, and they bring their culture to the small island of Hawaii. The emblematic food is the taro root. Is the food which represent unity, which represent prosperity, and it is symbolic meal which can't miss in ceremonies like wedding. If you have guests, you prepare it for the guests, and it can be prepared with various recipes. Um, the term Oana, which means family in Hawaiian language, also has a meaning in the taro root. In fact, the taro corn, known as Oa, is a name of Hawaiian ancestor. That's why I was. That is the reason why I was saying that is an emblematic food in that culture. It can be cultivated in Hawaiian local areas, which make it accessible for everyone, for the rich, for the poor, for them to enjoy. So it can be as I said, it can be consumed with pork, with fish, or chicken.
Yeah.
The main point is to teach even small kids that the taro is the symbol of family unity and keep it in Hawaiian culture. Yes. And I'm moving forward with Japanese culture. As you know, Japan is the first country in this world which is known to produce a high quantity of rice. So, rice is the staple of Japan, is the source of their traditional spirit, and it is a gift to God and ancestors. And there is a large variety of rice. In that country, they have specific name for specific meal. And note that each meal, it can have rice. You can't say that you've eaten without rice. Even breakfast, even snacks,
Yeah,
you
take
find rice in it. So for some varieties I found is kotsudon. Okay, that's a recipe. Kotsudon, it's a rice accompanied with pork. Another thing is that they eat only white rice.
White rice.
Yes. You can't pour sauce or soy
In the
or
rice.
or mix it with something else. It's only white rice. There's also oyakudon. It's another recipe.
Yeah.
Rice with eggs and chicken. It's a small bowl of rice, another bowls of eggs and chicken. Another one is nikudon. It's rice with beef slice.
Hey,
It's
this means that in the Japan you can't eat without rice. If you
It's
eat without
impossible.
rice,
Even snacks.
you will have to find rice.
And there is another one which is tendon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rice.
Rice with vegetables, according to your preference.
Yeah.
Yes. Goan is another name of rice. Is used when you want to ask for cooked rice meal. You may say goan. If you go in a restaurant, you say goan. Immediately they know that you want rice. Yeah. And then there are names of their dishes. We have asa goan. Goan, I say that it's cooked rice. Asa is breakfast.
Okay.
So if you say asa goan,
You
it's
got
breakfast. You're asking for breakfast. If you say hiru goan, hiru is lunch. Hiru goan is lunch with
rice.
which contain rice. Bang goan is dinner. Yeah. And in their history, rice was, because it was considered as sign of wealth. It was a payment for soldiers. If soldiers go to war, they give them rice as a payment. And emperor was in charge to bless all the rituals, festivals, and events which had to deal with rice. So in Japan, it's all about rice.
Right.
If you have rice, you are a wealthy person. If you eat rice, you are a healthy person. If you don't eat rice in Japan, maybe people may curse you. I'm going also to talk about my culture. I'm Burundian, and I'm going to talk about ubukwe, weddings. In our culture is very similar to Indian culture. So weddings are have the purpose of gathering families and friends to celebrate two people who are reunited or to want to found a family and everything. And in our culture, wine is very important. Is an important part of social interaction, and it is consumed in all important events. We have two types of wines. We have banana wine, and sorghum wine, according to your preference.
Yeah.
And the important meal in my country is bananas with banana and beans. You may also find cassava bread with vegetables like lenga or fish. And for cassava bread and lenga, it symbolizes unity between like people who are sharing the same meal. Because when eating this, you will find 5 or more people seated together and eating together.
The same plate.
At the same plate, yes. Between those three cultures, I found that the main purpose is to be together, share culture, enjoy through eating and drinking. But the differences are that for Hawaiian, the taro roots is not eaten every day, even for Burundian culture. You will not find those meals in everyday meal. But for Japanese, it's every single day. That's the difference between those three cultures. Another thing which is common in the two first cultures I talked about is at weddings people throw rice to newlywed people to give them to wish for them like prosperity and to wish for them that they have many kids and everything. So for me, those are the informations I got from my cultures. And if you have questions.
So thank you, Queen. For the last thing you said that throwing rice on people who are getting married. I also have it in Hindu culture because they say that when they're throwing like rice to people, it means that they are wishing them to have many kids. You know, rice it is uncountable, so they're expecting you to have many kids. Yeah. So you said that in Hawaii, like no, in Japan, everything is rice.
Yes.
So you said that poor, rich, I don't know, whatever, they have rice. It means that everyone is rich there because rice, it is a symbol of righteousness. It means that there's no poor in there.
What I try to talk about when I said rich or poor, there is people consider rich wealth in under many contexts. You may have rice and say, yes, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and it's enough for me. But others may count their richness in money, belongings, or house. Yeah, that's what I try to say.
It means that rice, it is just a common thing for them.
If you have rice, you are sufficiently wealthy.
Okay, I get
it. I think something I found as a commonality among all those cultures, all of them, they eat. They eat first of all. This means that food is a very, very important thing in the all cultures. And something I find as difference, some cultures they drink beers and whatever, but the other side, like in Japan, they don't like, I think, drinking. They eat only that. Yes.
And in cultures, what I found is like when people are eating, as you said, there's a meaning behind of what they are eating. They just eat for just eating. Maybe to go for like to go out of the culture. That's when you can go and eat food for outside, but everything is related to who you are and why you are eating that food. So thank you very much, guys, for your time and for this project. Wish you good luck.
Yeah,
Thank you, the same to
yeah,
you.
we learned a lot from each other, I think. Yep.
Yeah.